Welcome to the Broadway.com show, filmed in Times Square, the heart of New York City. I'm Paul Wontorek.
And I'm Beth Stevens. Today, we're all about a movie star coming to Broadway, as well as news about kings, heroes, and a certain gravity-defying green girl.
And later, we'll sit down with our favorite spy on the inside, Okieriete Onaodowan, the new star of The Great Comet.
But first, let's get started with the news. What's the buzz, Paul?
Thurman is ready to make her Broadway debut. The Oscar-nominated Hollywood star will headline the new play The Parisian Woman by House of Cards creator Beau Willimon. Thurman will play Chloe, a Washington, D.C. socialite manipulating her own way around politics in a way that would make Frank Underwood proud. It's based on the French farce La Parisienne by Henry Beck, which was scandalous in its time for its matter-of-fact take on adultery. Thurman, who played Off-Broadway in The Misanthrope back in 1999, was nominated for an Academy Award for Pulp Fiction and has appeared in over 40 other films, including Dangerous Liaisons, The Truth About Cats and Dogs, Kill Bill, and The Producers, and even got a guest star Emmy nomination for Smash. Under the direction of Tony winner Pam McKinnon, The Parisian Woman is set to open on Broadway on November 30th.
You know what Broadway always needs? More brawny heroes. Turns out there may be a stage adaptation of Hercules on the horizon. Alan Menken, the Oscar and Tony-winning composer whose scores include The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Little Shop of Horrors, and Newsies, says he's at work adapting the 1997 Disney animated film for the stage. If you zoned out during Mythology 101 or somehow missed the Broadway talent-packed movie, Hercules is the son of the Greek gods Zeus and Hera, who is stripped of his immortality as a baby and required to become a real hero to reclaim it. Menken and Tony-winning lyricist David Zippel were nominated for an Oscar for the film song Go the Distance, performed in the movie by Tony winner Roger Bart. A Disney rep says no stage adaptation is in development at this time.
So it's not officially in development yet, but could be in the future?
Fingers crossed.
Well, that gives plenty of young would-be Hercules stars time to get to the gym and pump up. There's a new king taking the throne in Hamilton. Ewan Morton, who just finished an acclaimed run as Hedwig in the national tour of Hedwig and the Angry Inch, will step into the role of King George on July 28th. Morton made a stunning Broadway debut playing Boy George in the short-lived but well-loved musical Taboo, which earned him a 2004 Tony Award nomination and a Theatre World Award. He's also been on the main stem in Cyrano de Bergerac and Sondheim on Sondheim. He will be the sixth king to rule the Broadway smash, following notables like Jonathan Groff, Andrew Rannells, Taran Killam, and Rory O'Malley. Current king, Brian Darcy James, who originated the part off-Broadway, will step down from the throne on July 16th.
Speaking of kings of the Great White Way, the one and only Groff Sauce, aka six-time Broadway.com Audience Choice Award winner Jonathan Groff, is heading west. Groff, Tony nominee Philip Boykin, and Broadway alum Sarah Uriarty-Berry are set to appear in Sondheim on Sondheim at the Hollywood Bowl on July 23rd. The event, directed by Sarna Lapine and featuring the Los Angeles Philharmonic, will also star the previously announced Matthew Morrison, Carmen Cusack, Jesse Tyler Ferguson, Ruthie Ann Miles, Louis Cleo, Claiborne Elder, Solly Pfeiffer, and original Sondheim on Sondheim showstopper Vanessa Williams.
What a cast! Talk about putting it together.
I see what you did there.
I sure hope you did. Two new plays were announced for off-Broadway runs in 2018 this week. Alex Lebisher's Bobby Clearly is billed as a comedy about a tragedy, specifically a murder that takes place in a cornfield in Nebraska. It will have its world premiere as part of the Roundabout Underground program, with Will Davis directing, starting March 8th at the Black Box Theater in the Harold and Miriam Steinberg Center for Theater. Over at Second Stage Theater, Greg Pierce's Cardinal will play the Tony Kaiser Theater. This new work by Pierce, whose other shows include Slow Girl and last season's Kid Victory, follows Lydia, a rabble-rouser who shakes up her Rust Belt town. Kate Wariski, who gave us last season's Sweat, will direct.
There's a new class coming in and returning to Shiz. Obviously, when I say Shiz, you know I'm talking about Broadway blockbuster Wicked. The show is welcoming back Jackie Burns as Elphaba on July 31st. Joining her on that date are Wicked tour alums Amanda Jane Cooper as Glinda, Ashley Parker Angel as Fiyero, and Kristen Martin as Nessa Rose, as well as London company member Jai Frasca as Bach, and returning to the role of Madame Morrible is Tony winner Rondi Reed.
After the break, we'll meet the new star of On Your Feet, find out some secrets about Broadway's cats, learn about the new play Pipeline, and more.
Wipe away the mask of makeup, just to talk, not to spur, man to man, queen to queen on a par, standing face to face.
Hi, this is Nicolette Robinson.
And this is Leslie Odom Jr. You're watching the Broadway.com show.
Welcome back. Over at the Neil Simon Theater, Tyler Haynes has taken a page out of Rum Tum Tugger's mischievous playbook and spilled a slew of secrets about the Broadway revival of Cats. From unseen entrances to hidden cameras, Haynes has let the cat out of the bag and invited us to tag along on the Backstage prowl.
I'm Tyler Haynes, aka the Rum Tum Tugger, and I'm going to tell you 5 secrets about cats. All right, so I'm going to start with talking about my first entrance in the show. Now, in most Broadway shows, people tend to enter on stage, either stage left or stage right, but here at Cats, we enter through the house. So, follow me. So now, here we are at the back of house left. It's gonna be completely pitch black at the top of the show, and normally it's filled with a lot of people, and then we kind of creep up behind them and flash our green eyes, which are green eyes. So now we are on the stage at the Neil Simon Theater. This is the set, and if you come in a little closer, you will see NAP 70, this license plate. John Napier, who was the set designer and costume designer, on every one of his sets, it says NAP and then it says a number, and this is his 70th set. So, little shout out to John Napier. So, here we are on stage left, and there's a bunch of our props from the show. And if you come a little closer, here is a prop that I enjoy. At the end of my number, the Rum Tum Tugger, I go out into the audience, I pick an audience member, and I take a selfie with them. And the cats on stage, they have this camera, and they take the picture. Now, what the audience may or may not know is that there is an iPad on the inside actually taking the photo. Once the photo is taken, it is streamed through the iCloud onto the official Rum Tum Tugger Instagram account, where the pictures are displayed for your viewing pleasure. So if you've seen the current revival of Cats on Broadway, you may have wondered, where's the orchestra? Now, we're below the stage right now, and the orchestra is actually under the stage. This is the booth where the Cats chorus, they sing and they help us out with the vocals, and then they look right in to the orchestra pit where the orchestra is playing during the show. Here we are in the wig room where there are 115 wigs made for the show, and there are about 30 wigs used on stage every night. So this is my Tugger wig, made of yak hair with many wonderful lowlights and highlights, and gets kind of wild, and you know, I like the way it moves in the wind. Thank you for joining me at Cats. Be sure to check us out from now until December 30th at the Neil Simon Theater. All right, I'll see you there.
On Your Feet said hola this week to a brand new Music Man when Mexican star Mauricio Martinez stepped into the role of Emilio Estefan on July 11. Broadway.com just had to conga over to the Marquee Theater to ask Martinez how it felt to make his Broadway debut in the musical smash.
Well, I felt very nervous, but calm at the same time. I focused, I really concentrated before I go on stage. And this was a big deal because it was my Broadway debut, you know. I'm not in Mexico City anymore. This is Broadway.
Martinez comes to Broadway via Mexico, where he has made a name for himself on recent TV hits like Señora Acero and El Vato, while also appearing in musicals like Beauty and the Beast, Jesus Christ Superstar, and The Last 5 Years. But he's thrilled to now be playing music icon Emilio Estefan.
It's such a beautiful character. It's Emilio is so loving, and so he has great punchlines, and he has great monologues, such powerful words that he gets to say.
The Mexican crooner first tried out for his role in On Your Feet a year ago, finding himself in the intimidating position of having to audition in front of Emilio himself, as well as his superstar wife, Gloria Estefan.
I sang directly to her. I was like, might as well. I'm gonna be playing or auditioning to play her husband. Might as well just sing to her, you know? So I focused on her the whole time.
Martinez will play Estefan on Broadway through August 13th before headlining the On Your Feet National Tour, which will launch in Buffalo, New York on September 22nd and have a grand opening at the Adrian Arch Center in Miami in October.
So it's very exciting. And during these times, saying these words all over America, playing this iconic character, singing these beautiful songs. It's like a dream come true. It's like, really, I feel like an 8-year-old in Christmas Eve that just got 2 beautiful gifts. And it's 2 gifts that I've been working my whole life to get.
The world premiere of Dominique Morisseau's stunning new drama Pipeline at Lincoln Center takes a tough look at how families and society itself are raising young people, and it does not flinch at the complicated issues of racism, opportunity, privilege, and acceptance. Star Karen Pittman explains more.
Pipeline the play is about a lot of things, but the main character's name is Naya Joseph, and she has a son who has encountered some difficulties at school. And over about 90 minutes, we go through what this mother and this son, this family, this community goes through from the perspective of a public school teacher, dealing with all kinds of challenges in raising her son and keeping herself and her son on track. One of the great parts about this play is that from the beginning, we bring down the fourth wall. And the character Naya Joseph speaks to the entire audience as if they were in a classroom. And we employ that technique a few times in order to make sure that the audience is engaged with the story in a way. The play is obviously got a big message. The title itself brings that home, right? Dominique Morisseau in this play brings in these beautiful works of art in Richard Wright's Native Son and in Gwendolyn Brooks' We Real Cool. And if you don't know who Gwendolyn Brooks is, you don't know that poem, you haven't read Native Son or Richard Wright in a really long time, you want to go back and really reflect upon those stories.
With Gwendolyn Brooks's poem and Native Son offering insight, Pipeline delves deep into the pressure cooker atmosphere of today's schools.
The public school environment is hot, thick with conflict and need and want, not just for yourself as a professional, but also for your students who come in there. And so much of the projections that we show on the stage are about seeing scenes of public school life, children in the hallways, casual violence, those things that happen in urban city schools that maybe people aren't completely used to seeing, but this is part of the world that Dominique Morisseau is bringing to the audience, and reflect it honestly, truly, that if for a moment they can slip out of that seat that they're in and be on stage with us and engage and feel something. If we've achieved that, then we have the opportunity to shift people just a little bit into a different perspective, to create an empathic conversation about what it means to be a human being. And that's what I hope that people get from the play Pipeline.
As one of the most popular Elphabas ever, Jackie Burns' return to Wicked has Broadway fans erupting into cheers and ballyhoo. So, in celebration of the beloved Green Girl's homecoming, we're revisiting Burns' wonderful Elfie character study before making our way back to the Gershwin Theater.
Elphaba is, she is a strong-willed woman, well, girl that turns into a woman that truly fights in what she believes in, no matter what consequence it is to her. And it's so amazing because I don't know many people out there in the world that would stand up for something they believe in, no matter what other people thought. She believes in what's right for everybody. She cares about everything from, you know, animals to people. She cares about everything being right and true and justice being served for everybody. She's had a really hard life because her mother died in childbirth, you know, with her sister, and her father blames it on her. So she has been treated like a second-class citizen in her own home by her own father all her life. She's green. She's a different color than everybody else, and they don't know how to handle it. She's just this amazing girl that has been an outcast all her life and has dealt with it and has masked the pain that she has been caused because of it, and then has come out to be this beautiful person who isn't jaded. I think what gets her through the day, like with people laughing at her, is her laughing with them. She masks everything with her wit and laughing with them, so it doesn't seem like it's bothering her, even though it obviously bothers her a great deal. Elphaba's a hothead. She doesn't always think before she speaks, and I definitely do that a lot. At first, it's not very beautiful, I won't lie to you, when you see like half your face painted, or like, you know, and just like your nose is white, or like, you know, your ears are white and your face is green, and, you know, until it's completely done, you look kind of cuckoo, especially when your whole face is green and so all your features aren't drawn on yet. So you have like, you look like a turtle really, you know, because you're like just green with like no eyebrows and lips and stuff. But then once the makeup is done, it's beautiful. It's beautiful makeup. Like I feel very pretty as Elphaba. Playing Elphaba has definitely changed me because it's helped me be stronger in my own convictions and to stand up for what I believe in and not just go with the crowd. I'm living my dream 8 times a week on Broadway. It's amazing. I saw this show when I graduated from college in like the second row with my parents with the original cast, and at intermission I was crying and said I want to play this role, and now 8 years later I am. So it's amazing. You know, it's my dream come true. I'm a girl from Connecticut that wanted to star on Broadway, and I am. How many people can say that?
When we return, an interview with great Comet star Okieriete Onaodowan.
Wipe away the mask of makeup, just to talk, not to spur, man to man, queen to queen on a par, standing face to
I am joined by Okieriete Onaodowan, who is playing the title role in Natasha Pierre in The Great Comet of 1812. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you for pronouncing my name right.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Holy shit, that was great.
Well, thank you. Also known as the Incredible Oak to your
Thank you.
fans, of course.
Thanks, man.
So tell me, did you ever imagine you'd be playing an awkward accordion-playing 19th century Russian on Broadway?
I totally did. This was like my dream ever since I was a kid. I was like, I want to play Pierre from War and Peace.
Right,
and now
right.
it's like happening.
Every
it's
kid.
Totally
Yeah.
happening. No, I never thought that. This is the last thing that I thought I'd be doing, which is what makes it so exciting.
Yeah.
Because it's just off a little bit. And everyone's like, what? I didn't really see that happening. So that's exciting for me because then it's a really great new experience for everybody on board. Because we don't know what this is going to be. Really good.
So your director, Rachel Chavkin, she recommended you for the role, but was it something that you, when you had seen it, imagined doing? Were you jealous of? No? Like, how did that?
Not at all. Actually, I went to opening night through her because we were good friends, and I was like, I went to it and I've seen, but basically most of the work she does in New York City, I try to go to support. And I was like, yeah, it's great. I had such a good time, and then that was it.
Are you comfortable yet in Pierre's skin, or are you still crafting?
I am. I'm still crafting, but for me, like, you know, the last piece of any puzzle for what we do on stage is the audience. You know, that's why the preview process is so important and so vital. You know, because then you finally see what you're making because you see how it's reflected from the people who see it. You know, we don't make theater just in a room for ourselves to watch. We make it for people to watch. So you need that last element to really know what you're working with. So
it's immersive theater, this production. You know, there's lots of interaction between the performers and the audience members. Is that something you are really into, or is that another thing that you have to sort of get used to?
Oh, no, I'm into it. Like when I started out, I did a lot of downtown theater and off stuff, and I've done all different kinds of theater, and children's theater too is very, very immersive in the same way where you interact. And there's just something really nice to directly connect with people, and it draws people in a very different way than like a traditional proscenium style piece. So no, I'm really, really excited to do that, and just to look at people and have them look back at me. That's really, really cool to be able to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're succeeding Josh Groban, who made his Broadway debut in the show. Have you spoken to him and your creator, Dave Malloy, about your performance as Pierre, learning little bits from them?
Yeah, I spoke to both of them. I spoke to Josh, and we've been in talks the whole process with Dave on like his ideas and how he feels, because he's also played it. He's playing it now, and it's just really great to see different people do it, to kind of find a through line between them, because there's one thing that makes Pierre, so it's cool to see different people in the role to be like, oh, that's what it is. That's like the core aspect of him. So yeah, I've been talking to them, and they've been really helpful.
Right, and another fan favorite from the music world, you have Ingrid Michaelson, who's now, are you excited to be playing up on stage with her as well?
Yeah, heck yeah, very much so. I was a fan of her as a musician. I told her that I loved her work, and so it's really cool and exciting, and also just exciting to see just our community embrace different people and watch them thrive. You know, artists who don't necessarily work in our medium, but who embrace it and do the work. You know, Josh did the work, and Ingrid's doing the work, and they're like, we're going to be here, but we're going to honor what you do on stage, and that's what's most exciting to see how much she's honored that. And it's like, no, I'm going to be a theater actor, and I'm going to do what you guys do.
Absolutely. You were one of the last original cast members of Hamilton to leave the production. Was it hard for you to leave it behind?
No, because it was time. You know, there's I like creating, and I like new projects and bringing something fresh and new. So it felt like it was time, and it's rare where you do a show where everyone loves it so damn much.
Right.
You know,
Totally,
I was like, everyone's like, it's so great, and everyone was so moved, and that's what we want. And it's also great, since I'm next door, I stop by every now and again, and just seeing all the new people coming in, how excited they are, and it's, you know, for them to take up space, someone has to like vacate the space. So it's really good.
It's the natural journey of moving on in these and letting the productions live. And in your off time, you're a big advocate for voting rights and for immigration rights and the importance of hip hop in society. Do you think Hamilton had an effect on you in bringing that out in you, or is that something you've always been passionate about and wanted to use your platform as a recognized performer to further along?
I think it gave me a platform. I think I've always been passionate about these things, but now people actually give a shit about what I say. So because Hamilton, like the great thing about it was now, as artists, when you do have a platform like that where people are paying attention, I think it's really important what you put out there. Yeah, put stuff about me and look at my cute dog and all that. That's great, but also when you have so many young minds who are looking up to you and hanging on your word, you know, it doesn't hurt to say some things that we all want to make the world better. We all want the world to be a stronger, more embracing place. So this is my opportunity. If I can just put little things out there through whatever social media feed I have about embracing change or being more empathetic, I'm gonna try and do that. So that's the best thing that came out of that, was this platform to do my part to try and make the world a little better.
Excellent. And working with, if you can use the term, geniuses like Lin-Manuel Miranda and David Malloy, what is something that these two incredible creators have taught you that you will now take forward with you as you go on and do other projects?
It's time. Things take time. That's the best thing that I learned from them, is taking your time and reading it and rereading it and letting go of certain things and writing and rewriting and letting go of what you think is great and being open to what may be greater. I've learned from them, but both of those pieces just took time. They took years to like incubate and rework and test and all of that stuff.
Marinate in it, savor it. Now this is your 4th Broadway show, but you've expanded onto film and television and all other sort of, where do you see your career going post the time you spend at the Great Comet?
Everywhere. Yeah, I want to do all the things that make all the money. Sure. Yeah. You know?
Sure. Yeah.
It's like, but
living. Yeah.
No, but just continuing to work on like really solid written projects that present really interesting characters, fascinating characters, honest characters, messy characters, but pieces that kind of inspire people to, you know, entertain other options in their life. You know, pieces that ask people to try to think or do things different than they're used to.
And for fans of yours that loved your performance as Hercules Mulligan and James Madison, when they come to see you in The Great Comet, what do you hope they take away from the experience? Why would you tell them, like, hey, if you loved me in this, make sure you come see this piece of work as well?
I think there's a grounded element about it that I really like about the show. And I think the energy that I had in Hamilton, I think I'm just really interested to see what it's like in the show. And I think that would be really engaging for some people. People really love those two characters because of how different they were, but I've been told just how rooted and real they were despite like the crazy circumstance of the show. That's what everybody loved about the piece, and I think if you kind of want that same thing, that's all the more reason to come and see a Great Comet. And also just to see, like, I just want to see what he's going to do. I'm just like pretty curious of what he's going to do. I think it will be a good time.
Right. Well, make sure you go see Natasha Pierre in The Great Comet of 1812. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
We'll be right back with an exclusive look inside the recording studio with the Lightning Thief's Chris McCarroll.
Wipe away the mask of makeup, just to talk, not to spur, man to man, queen to queen on a par, standing face to face.
Hi, I'm Olivia Wilde at the premiere of 1984, and you're watching the Broadway.com show.
Thanks for watching the Broadway.com show.
We leave you with an exclusive look at Chris McCarroll recording Good Kid for the Lightning Thief cast album, which is now out on Broadway Records.
See you next week.
Try to be a good kid, a good son. But no one ever will take my side. All I ever do is take a fall. I swear that I'm a good kid. Guess I'm good for nothing at all.